Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, today's guest is David Sanchez, and he's the founder over at Digitalis. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, David. So I'm excited to get into your story, man. I understand that you were originally an ER nurse, and you also and you went from that to starting an addiction rehab program. You also started a marketing agency. I mean, a lot to cover here, and excited to get into it. I guess just to get us kicked off, let's start with the ER nurse to creating a program. Like, how'd that come about?
Well, it was a long journey, definitely. Mm-hmm. So, I was working in the emergency department. I've been a nurse since 2009. So in 2010, 2011, I was working in the emergency department and seeing overdoses every day, seeing people coming in asking for help every day with alcohol or drugs. And I really started feeling like I needed to do something to make a greater difference, because oftentimes I wasn't able to do a whole lot to help them, besides give them a phone number for a place or, send them to have the social worker come and talk to them. But I just felt like I needed to do more, and I really felt like that was a calling. And so I went and talked to my pastor about it, and he said, well, the church will get behind you. We'll do everything we can to help make it happen. And so with the help of my church, we were able to start a nonprofit and be able to start helping people. So we founded that in 2014, and I've been involved with addiction recovery ever since then.
Wow. What are some of the things as you've kind of been on that journey? I mean, everybody learns, no matter what somebody's trying to do, and there's always unexpected things. I'm curious on your end, you learn anything unexpected as you've been going through this?
Well, I would say one of the biggest, there's lots of surprises, of course. I had no idea that business was so complicated. I'd never owned a business before. I didn't have any family members that were involved in business. But the business of addiction recovery, I didn't realize that it was so challenging, and also it is kind of the Wild West of healthcare in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stuff that's just not regulated, and not a lot of common practices are actually either kind of gray areas or sometimes can be actually borderline illegal activity. And so I kind of had to navigate through that because, I'm a nurse at heart. I want to help people, and I want to make a difference. So another big surprise was that how expensive advertising was, because I really wanted to help people, but it's extremely competitive in this field. I was paying at one point over $15,000 a month on advertising, just like Google ads and Facebook ads, and just so people could know about us, that we existed and that we could help them with their addiction problems. And I was paying over $100 a click some months. It's just extremely expensive. And so that's actually how I ended up starting to get into advertising, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. I just don't see how it's possible, but it turned out that I was able to start learning, get a team together, be able to make a greater impact, and that led me down the path of learning marketing.
Wow. So what was that piece of it like? Because I feel like you had to have had a strong mission. Most people, I shouldn't say most people, but many people would maybe give up at that point. They'd say, well, it's not working. I'm spending all this money. It's too expensive. But you took it a step further, and you're like, well, let me see what I can do. And that changed things. What was that like?
Well, fortunately at the time, I had a team that was able to help with a lot of the marketing. So I wasn't doing it all myself. So we had somebody doing video, another person doing the social media management. And so luckily another person doing the in-person marketing, like business development. So luckily it wasn't all me on my own. So I had started learning search engine optimization, content marketing, and we'd hired an agency. So the agency was helping with the Google ads and the search engine optimization. We call it SEO. And so I just was dabbling a little bit in it before that. But as they were doing it, they were telling me, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. But as months rolled by, I couldn't see any visible results from it. And our numbers were actually going down, because I was tracking in Google Analytics, to see the number of clicks we were getting, the number of views, how many people were contacting us. And it was just mysterious. What's happening? There's no visibility. And one time, like I mentioned, the gray areas, one time another, like a call center, basically, like a call farm, they had actually changed on Google Maps. You can go in and recommend a change to a Google profile. Somebody had changed our Google profile and recommended a different phone number. So they had changed our phone number on the Google profile.
Oh my God.
And so all of our phone calls that were coming in through Google were actually getting routed to some call center in another city. And
wow.
so, man, why are the phones so dead? And I realized it after a few weeks. And so I was like, man, this is crazy. I've got to learn this stuff and figure it out. And so we ended up saying, you know what, let's fire this agency. I've got to learn this on my own. I've got to take it more seriously because my main job is to help as many people as we can. And if things are just not working out well, then it falls on me. And even like one of the final straws came when my agency rep, the guy who was doing the SEO stuff for us, he showed up to a meeting as high as a kite on heroin, and it was really obvious to me because I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, this guy is high as a kite. This is not going to work. And so I tried to talk to his supervisor, and I was like, hey, I'm concerned about, this gentleman, and I want to know, is there somebody else I can talk to get help? Is there a supervisor? And the sales rep who had helped me to hire them, he's like, no, there's nobody else you can talk to. Sorry. Basically, he was just blowing me off. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work, guys. Let's take it in-house. And so from there, I was able to develop systems and really learn how to make things work. And I decided, you know what, things change around really quickly. You started making a lot more impact. I learned how to be able to equate dollars and cents to, how much are we actually spending per new person we get. And then from there, I was like, you know what, if we're able to change things around, and it was so hard to find help before, there's other people that need this type of help. So we might as well start helping some other facilities and to offset the cost of our own marketing efforts. So that's what I ended up doing. And I started Digitalis because of that.
Wow, what a great story. And maybe go a little bit more into your niche. I've checked out your website, of course. And so it's, you're generating leads for, it says, I'll just read right off the website, get 30 new patients in 60 days, generate 30 to 100 qualified new patients on autopilot. So now you figured it out for yourself, and now you're being of service to others. Like, who's your target market? Like, who gets the most value out of working with you and your team?
Yeah, mostly it would be something related to behavioral health, so psychiatric practices, mental health, substance abuse. That's really who we target a lot of times. And also many specialty practices, so it could be urgent cares, primary cares, the surgical specialties.
And what about geographies? Like any particular area that you serve or anything like that, or is it pretty much agnostic? It's
mainly in the U.S. I've talked to a few companies from other countries, but it makes the most sense for us to focus on English-speaking countries and especially the U.S. Wow, I understand the market and the system the best here.
Yeah, what a great story. What a great story. And as you continue to scale this side of the business, like, what does that look like for you? Like, and I'm going to ask this question, by the way, a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of executives that watch this, and I'm always curious about, like, the vision. So now you're at a certain point, like, where do you go next with this?
Well, right now, I really try to balance my time because I like to be personally involved with the recovery program. We're still active. Ours is a faith-based program. It's Christian-based, so I like to work personally with the guys to help them. And it's a long-term program. It's a year-long minimum. And so I like to work personally with the guys, doing a Bible study with them every morning, helping them to grow personally, helping them to get a job, learn the social skills that they need to keep a job, and just really to make sure that they're going to be successful in life in the long term.
What do you
I'm trying to balance my time in between those.
That's amazing.
Answer your whole question.
It absolutely does. What do you think the benefit of doing the daily Bible study, and also you being at many points, many believers may at certain points as the organization gets bigger, maybe kind of miss some of that hands-on attention, and they may be working on, scaling, doing this, doing that, but you still manage to be in the, and doing the work. Like, what does that mean to you?
That's huge. Yeah, we restructured 3 years ago, or it's longer now. Gosh, that was 2018. We restructured. Yeah, anyway, it was about 3 years ago that we restructured, but it was, I was just managing the management team. And so I had 4 or 5 managers that reported to me, and we had 25 staff at the time. And it was just too complex. I was spending so much of my time dealing with compliance and billing, insurance and stuff. And it was frustrating for me because the original vision was to help these guys get their lives together and save their lives. We also had a women's program at the time, an outpatient program, a detox program. It was just a lot because I was trying to scale, and it is a nonprofit, so it didn't personally benefit me. I was just trying to help more people.
Mm-hmm.
However, it just becomes so complex when you get away from or I shouldn't say when you get away from it, but when you allow things to consume your time and your focus and your energy. So for me, I had to really get back to first principles. What do I want to accomplish? What is the simplest way to achieve that? And for me, I want to help save lives. I want to help teach people how their lives can be changed through the power of God and learn how to develop the skills to be successful. And so for that, I just wanted to focus on the things that could make the biggest impact in my community, which is housing, so addiction recovery, housing, and then teaching them life skills. Those are the two biggest gaps in our area where I'm at in northern Arizona. So I decided to just focus on that. And so now now it's a program run by volunteers, and it's just extremely streamlined and simple. I would say it costs me, I don't want to give all the exact numbers, but basically 96% less than it did before.
Wow.
So it's much, much, much lower overhead, very simplified. And that way I know that we'll be able to pay the bills regardless of the situation. And then we can continue our mission and keep helping people. It was so much more stressful before. And I'm also able with the marketing business, I have time to do that and focus on helping healthcare facilities grow in a way that I can give them the time and attention they need so I can focus on quality rather than quantity. I'm not just trying to bring in revenue. I can help people. So we work with a small number of clients, and we work very closely with them basically as their marketing department. So that way the quality is there. We can be excellent at everything we do. At the same time, I'm able to have a life. I'm able to help people in the program and outside the program, enjoy some time with my family. So we have 2 daughters now. While we were restructuring, we ended up adopting 2 of the baby girls that were born to mothers who were addicted to fentanyl. And we were able to get them at birth. They're unrelated to each other, but they're part of our family now. They're about to turn 3 and 5. And so I'm able to enjoy life.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we're able to enjoy life and function in life while being on this journey, which has been very unpredictable, but also extremely rewarding.
What a great story. And I like one of the things I like a lot about this story, but that concept of not rushing and understanding like the quality and remaining focused on what you're actually looking to accomplish. I think that says a lot. And I feel like many entrepreneurs feel this burden and this thing to where they have to continue to grow. They have to keep on for me, or they have to it's got to be forced. And so even our company, I've been doing this 9 years. I've done over 6,000 interviews and people, they ask me, we could be bigger. We got our decent size, but, we only got a little over 30 employees. And I feel that God calls me to continue to be having conversations just like I am now. And what's interesting is to reach other people the way that I've been able to even do it, even outside of our shows, is I was called to helping other people. And it was very naturally. I didn't plan on being in you ended up being partially in the marketing business by trying to help. I ended up partially being in I shouldn't say partially now. We've launched over 250 shows. For other individuals. And so that's our great podcast production and distribution and things like that. But we're not in a rush to continue to grow as a media brand or outlet. Because if we were, we've been offered, investors, people to invest and do things like that. We could grow really fast. We could do all those other things. But I kind of intuitively just know, God's not calling me to do that exact thing. Yeah. That I'm not really too worried about where this goes. He's in control, and really the growth and everything else, in his time, is going to be what it's supposed to be. I just have to maintain stewarding what I've been given and the opportunities and remaining grateful and trying to spread, love. That's my mission there. Yeah. And the rest, that's going to take care of itself. I'm not really too worried about it, but I don't feel called to rush and do this, and we got to be the next Forbes, and we got to do this, and we got to take out all this money and private equity and this, that, whatever, and grow. How about I want to have a conversation, in this case, with you, David, and that feels good to me, and hopefully through our conversation other people are going to hear that and they're going to be inspired, and hopefully, and you got me thinking about Bible study again, because I haven't been to one in a while. So this is good. This is the kind of conversations, because I've been watching too much on YouTube in terms of even though I do love Dr. Miles Monroe, that's my boy. I love it. I love listening to him, but he fires me up. But I can't forget the communal aspect of it and being around others matters and what that means and what that holds, which is what you've gotten back to the root of. And when at one point maybe you were going in another direction, which is amazing to me. I think it's a great story.
Yeah. You know, when you say yes to something, you always say no to something else. Mm-hmm. And that's how effective people are effective. You look at people who are incredible at what they do, you always have to say no to something. You always have to turn something down because you only have so much time and attention. And to be excellent, you have to be unskilled or ignorant about something else. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep, absolutely. That's what it's interesting the way that works. It really is interesting the way that works, but I prefer it. It's less stressful.
Yeah.
For me, at least, definitely. I don't want to know how to do everything. I'm okay. If I can learn how to do a couple of good things like really well and be the best at that, that's all you need in this world. Like
exactly. You can make a difference, but in only so many ways. You only have so many years.
I love it. Well, David, this has been a lot of fun having you on the show today and really learning more about your mission, your journey. If somebody's listening or watching this and they want to connect and they want to follow you, follow your team, anything else like that, how do they do that?
The easiest way to reach me is on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there. You can just look for David Sanchez and an RN at the end because I'm a registered nurse. There's a lot of people with my same first and last name, so don't forget the RN part.
Amazing. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put the links in the show notes so that you can just click on them and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And David, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. It's been great. I've really enjoyed talking to you.